Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my podcast, Can You Put Me on Guest List? I'm Katie Knight, and I am so honoured to have the one and only Kölsch on the podcast this week. What an amazing human being. We sat in the sun in Ibiza. It was the day after his gig at Ant, so I really appreciate that he sat down with me for an hour and we just spoke about so many lovely things, and it was just very nice to get to know him a little bit more. I'd interviewed Kölsch a few times before, but this was the first deep dive into his career and stories that he's made along the way. We spoke about his early days in Ibiza, the power of storytelling. As you all know, Kölsch is the master of storytelling, so we spoke all about the importance of that in his music. His latest release, Waste My Time, which is a new collaboration with Camelphat, and the first single from his upcoming album, Kinema, which is going to be a 2-part album. And one thing that I love about the release with Camelphat is that it comes with an AI-generated video that is recreated Pacha in the 70s, and they've used like actual footage and pictures from Pacha's archives, and it's just really cool to watch. So we talk all about that and the idea behind it, and just about his career in general, how he started out, what other jobs he had before, first gigs, the future of club culture we spoke about as well. So there's so much in here, and I'm really excited to share it with you. This episode is powered by TrackStack, the all-in-one platform for managing demos, sending promos, leveling up your productions, and monetizing your music knowledge. It's very easy to use, and if you want to try it and get 10% off for life, you can use the code CUPMOG. That is the first letter of every word of Can You Put Me on Guest List? And yeah, I think you should give it a go. This is Kölsch here on Can You Put Me on Guest List? Ooh, how exciting. Well, it's not morning. Good afternoon. What time is it?
It's 3 o'clock.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. That's a good way to
That's
start.
the way. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see you.
You too.
Here in the sunshine in Ibiza.
Very fortunate situation, isn't it? It could be much worse.
I think we might get a few airplane sounds coming in, but then it just makes it more Ibiza.
Yeah, that's very Actually, yesterday I was playing with Soir yesterday, France, and the airplanes kept coming over, and I just felt, this is just so Ibiza. The airplanes come. I remember when I used to go to space on the terrace, and every time an airplane come, everybody would just.
Yeah, I love the fact that you still get that feeling. Like,
oh yeah, every time.
Do you?
Completely. I'm still completely infatuated with this island. It's like an ongoing love story. It's very weird.
When was the first ever time you came to Ibiza?
99.
99.
And I was completely skint, obviously. Stayed in San An at a very, very bad hotel. And basically what we'd go, during the daytime, we'd rented a car and we'd go to Salinas to John Trincher, because he'd have all the records.
Yeah.
And he'd play all day, and we just, the music was just wild, so cool. And then we'd go to, in the evening, we'd go to Mambo, sneak in beers, sit on the front, listen to the records, because we couldn't afford any of it. So we just sneak in beers, sit on the seaside and watch the sunset. And I vividly remember going to, it was like an MTV party or something, and in the quarry outside of San An, and it was like everybody was playing. It's like a whole bunch, like all the classic Ibiza DJs were there, and there was Sonique, and there was, I think Murillo, I think Laurent Garnier may have been playing it too, and it's just, I'll never forget those days. It's fun.
So you hadn't, when you came for the first time, you didn't come to DJ? You
No. I was just a local DJ. I was just only playing in Denmark back then.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd released a couple of records at the time, but none of them had any traction, as in to get gigs or such. It was not on that level at all. It was just like pure passion.
And what was the first year that you actually came to play in Ibiza?
It depends on what you define by playing.
Well, you were booked to play a party.
I played a party, I think 2003.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd released, let me think. I think it was 2002 or 2003. I'd released probably one of my biggest records ever, called Calabria. Under the Moon, sort of, back then. And I was booked to play. I think I played Il Divino. Back then.
Wow.
It was amazing.
I was actually watching that interview that you did with Vintage Culture the other day, that back-to-back one, and
yeah.
it starts like that, saying, "Who made that track, Calabria?" So what year did you begin DJing as like it was your professional career?
I'd say 99, 2000, because at that time I got a residency in a club in Copenhagen called Rust, and I'd play like once a month, two times a month, and it sort of expanded into every weekend, and then in the end it expanded to 2 times a week there, and we built something really beautiful. I remember very vividly that when I started playing, then not many people would come out. It was like 2 floors. There was a basement which was like 200 people, and then there was a main floor which was maybe, let's say, 500 or something. It wasn't a huge place, but it was really instrumental for the scene in Denmark at the time, because that was like the first place where house music really took off, I think. And I remember bringing that sound from Ibiza that I heard here, because the first time I came here, I heard Raving Man with the Red Face, Knights of the Jaguar, all these classics. I brought them back. I started playing them in Denmark, and it helped really sort of shape the sound that became that club for a period of, let's say, 3-4 years. That was a really cool place to be.
So when you were like raving before you got the residency, where were you going?
I'd go to Berlin. I remember going to Tresor, going to Ewerk, which was a really incredible club back then that sadly closed. I went to one of the last nights at Bunker, which was a legendary place, which is now an art museum.
Wow.
Which was, at the time, it was 7 stories, and the music got harder and harder the further you went up. So it'd be like like housey down, and then it would just go trance, hardcore, gabba, and then on the top floor was chill out. So you kind of sort of progressed for the night up. It was really funny place.
That what a great concept.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's
actually,
cool.
when you think about it, it worked really well. Yeah, I went many places. I even went to Mayday. We'd go and Love Parade. I went to Love Parade in '96, I remember, which was a crazy experience as well. The thing is, what was funny back then is I didn't know that the scene was so big, because in Denmark we were like 200-300 people maximum into this stuff, you know, and there was no distinguishing between techno and trance and house. It was all kind of, oh, whatever, had a kick drum, we were into it.
Yeah.
And then I went to Love Parade, and I was like, what on earth is going on here? You've got 1 million people running around in the streets. It was really a beautiful experience.
Yeah, I bet that must have been a moment, like you thinking that something is so small, and then all of a sudden realizing like, whoa, actually, this is massive. Like, this is going to be something.
Similar feeling when I came here the first time, actually.
Yeah.
Like seeing all the billboards and such. I was like, why are there DJs on billboards? I'd never even seen that anywhere. And it felt so magical, and it felt like finally there was some, I'm not going to say opportunities, because I never got on a billboard, but I did get on a billboard, sorry. But
Yeah, I've seen a billboard.
but more the whole idea that there was something else than just the 300 capacity club. There was this bigger thing, this bigger scene going on, and this more in actually the bigger movement. Let me put it that way, which I think was not apparent to me before that.
So what were you doing before that? Like, what were you working at before you were DJing?
I was working, oh my God, I was working with all kinds of nonsense. I was working for a telemarketer for a brief period of time. I was doing cleaning at university. I'd get up at 4 a.m, do cleaning. I worked with at a kindergarten, with kids, which was always a lot of fun. Then for the longest time, I was trying to get this DJ school up and running. I wanted to do a DJ school for kids that were in trouble. The idea was that you could use DJing as a skill to sort of climb the social ladder, or to gain a status, and to create a momentum, and to create something together, a community. And we tried to get that up and running, and it sadly never really worked out. I think it was a little bit too early. The 90s were probably not the right time to do stuff like that. Maybe it could have worked now, but I thought it was a really beautiful idea, because there were a lot of immigrants and a lot of criminals going around in Copenhagen at the time. We were trying to sort of embrace the whole thing and change that energy, because there's a whole masculine energy. We wanted to change that into something positive, give them the tools to do something with that, instead of just being bored in the streets as they were.
Have you ever done anything in the educational space since then, or would you like to do anything in that space?
brushed across it, but never really gotten involved. I think it's such a huge task and also a very, very big responsibility these
Yeah.
days, because you've got to project something that is of value. And I'm not sure that I have that yet. You know what I mean? It's just, you really have to be thorough about your research and be sure what it is you want to say.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
it's a big responsibility, I think.
So you had all of these different jobs before, obviously.
Yeah.
You became who you are today. But did you always know that you wanted to have a career in music?
No, I didn't believe. I didn't believe it 1 second. Actually, I was dreaming about it, and that was all I was doing. Even when I went to school, I'd sit up and make music all night, and then not sleep and just go to school.
Really?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
What did you study?
This was just this was just in Denmark. You call it gymnasium, which is from when you're 14 until you're 18.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was 3-4 years in that time period. It was just like part of the education, nothing big. And then after that, funny story, I started marketing and innovation after that for a bit. And I got into a huge argument with one of the professors because he said that online marketing was never going to happen.
Look now.
and the thing is, we were already like throwing parties at the time. Like we were promoting with like rudimentary email.
Yeah.
And text messages and such. And I said, look, mate, maybe there's a reason why you're just a professor at this shitty school instead of having a killer career somewhere. And I'm like, just never came back. Like, fuck this place.
Wow. So then at what point were you like, I want to start DJing?
It kind of was there all along. Like,
Yeah.
The first show I did was, I guess, 93. It was like a derelict time. It was like, I played in a squatter house. It was very, very sort of, it was very tightly connected with activism. Techno was very much a subculture back then. It was not at all anything that would be accepted at regular discos and such. It was nowhere like that. So this would be sound systems and warehouses and, you know, half punkers. It was just a whole completely different vibe. And it was, you really had to fight for your music back then. It was like a whole thing, you know. People would just tell you to fuck off. They didn't like what you played.
Really?
Yeah, it was very intense.
Brutal.
Yeah, but Copenhagen at that time was quite brutal. It was very much, I remember that people would just, you know, I remember there was a famous punker that came up and tried to steal my wallet while I was playing. Stuff like that. It was just ridiculous.
What? That's wild.
Yeah, it was the Wild West back then. But I'm kind of happy I went through that because it shaped something in me. It shaped that determination to do something with music. And I think, you know, it's funny you asked about when I started deciding that I wanted to do music. And actually, my brother gave me the best advice I ever got. He was at the time running a nightclub in Copenhagen and was doing a very successful designer. And I said, look, I'm just so sure I can make it within this music business. It's like so few people actually get to succeed within it. And he said, you know what? That's very true. Not many people get to succeed. Well, why shouldn't one of them be you? I'm like, that's a really good point.
That is actually just really good life advice.
Yeah, that is exactly, and I've kind of lived by that mantra since.
I love that. That kind of gave you the determination and that push that probably you needed.
All right, this is what I'm doing. That was it. Yeah. It's funny, I just read an article actually that out of all the DJs in the world, is it 1.2% of them have more than 5 shows a year.
1.2% of them have 5 shows a year.
And that's every kind of DJing. That's like radio DJs.
Wow, really?
Wedding DJs, stuff like that, yeah.
What do you think it is? Like, what? I mean, there's so many aspects to it. And especially nowadays, there is just so many people out there trying to do things. But what do you think are the things that allow you to break through? Like, you have it or you don't. Some people do have it, but they don't make it to where they want to be.
I think it has something to do with there not being another option, really. That's the one thing that was always a problem with Denmark as such. I always say we're the best functioning socialist system in the world, really. Jokingly communist, which is not true, but we're taxed really high. And if you're unemployed, you can get welfare fairly easily. And it's I'm not saying it's easy to live there, but there's always the safety net. And the safety net somehow robs people of their ambition as well. You know, when you have that sort of, let me just test it out a little bit. You know, let me just take a year's leave and see how the guitar leads me or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And it kind of takes away the determination. And that's why I think that whenever I was in London or anywhere in the UK, if you said you were a musician, people would go, yeah, fucking well done. You're doing it. You're out there doing it. Whereas in Denmark, it's like, well, what's your real daytime job then?
Ah, interesting.
So there was a whole like mental attitude towards it, which was just never really taken serious. I mean, unless you're super successful, being a musician or a DJ in Denmark is kind of equivalent. It's the equivalent to being out of work, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, it's probably changed now.
Yeah.
But back then in the 90s, it was just whatever.
What do you think has been the most challenging part of your career so far?
Oh, definitely the business side of things. I've been through a lot of tough situations where people have stolen money from me. I've been in situations where ex-managers ran off. You know, I think what everybody has to go through.
Yeah.
It's kind of a rite of passage, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
get through that, you get betrayed by people that you thought were there for you. Then it builds that strength again. That whole.
Totally.
I think so. But I guess that goes in any business. I've not met any successful business person that's not been through something like that.
Yeah, it would be very strange to like go through a successful career without negative
any
things
challenges.
happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
True.
So when you were growing up as a child, were you surrounded by a lot of music at home?
My dad was a guitarist.
Mm.
My mom is an artist. She's a painter. She was very much into super abstract music, still is.
Really?
Yeah, she would listen to these weird hippie records from the 60s. You know, I remember very vividly, she has a record somewhere with, it's like some primal screaming around a bonfire. It's like really weird stuff. Like she has, but at the same time, she likes also classical rock music and such. As I kind of love her influence because it's so obscure. Some of the stuff she likes. I wouldn't get a couple of drinks in her. You get some stories. Like she'll be talking about Andy Wall, and she'll be
love
like
that.
wild stories. Yeah, and she's German. She'll just go, yeah. I was in London, yeah, and I was hanging out with these artists, yeah, and then all these like the weirdest shit comes out, and you're
That
like,
is so-
tell me more. What is this?
I love that.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Maybe I need to do like a podcast series where it's DJ's mums.
Yeah, please do. She would have
She
a
could be
right
the
laugh.
first.
She'd have a right laugh with her.
Does she go to a lot of your gigs or be
No,
to a lot of your
never.
gigs?
She doesn't like my music at all. Actually, an even better story. I invited her. I was playing Roskilde Festival in 2003, and I invited her along. And she said, "I'd love to go because you know Manu Chao are playing on the other stage at the same time as you."
You're like, cheers, man.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
So
Appreciate
funny.
it.
I love that. So you got a lot of influence from
Yeah,
her.
I guess my father was probably the biggest
Yeah.
influence. He sadly passed away in 2004 from a brain tumor, but he was very had a band. He was a very good guitarist, actually a very good songwriter. And actually, funnily enough, last year I released an album called Talk to Water, where I used a lot of his music from back then. I found all these old mini discs during COVID. He'd recorded demos and such. It was really a great sort of cathartic experience to go through that.
Wow.
Listen to all that music.
And you just found them.
Well, they were there, but I hadn't mustered up the energy to listen to them. I was very emotionally, traumatized still, I guess.
Yeah.
It's something to get over, but yeah, I dug them out and I spent a good time sifting through what was good. Some of it was terrible too, obviously, but there's a couple of things in there that were really good.
That must have been such a special moment to go through all of that.
Absolutely, yeah. It was really something. I'm happy. I'm really happy I got to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think many people get that chance.
No, absolutely.
Hey, thankfully for technology, right?
Yeah.
And I remember before he passed, he'd call me every day. Bruna, I'm on the Cubase. What does export MIDI file mean? I'm like, fuck's sake. Don't worry about it. You don't have to export any MIDI files. Just press record, play the guitar. That'll do.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. He was a riot.
Speaking of technology, I love the AI video for your
Yeah?
new
Yeah.
single with Camelphat.
Yes.
That was tell me a little bit about the story behind it, and also because it's a recreation of Pacha Ibiza in the
Yeah.
70s,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you've used actual footage
Yeah.
and pictures from our Pacha archives.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit behind wasting my time, and why did you choose the 70s?
Well, I mean, I obviously wasn't there, but I love the idea of transforming into that period of time. I wonder if they would like the music we actually play. I don't think so.
What a question.
They probably think it was terrible. just imagine rocking up as a DJ in the 70s playing this kind of music. They'd rebel. They wouldn't know. Anyway, I digest. Anyway, so
It's something to think about, though, isn't
something
it?
to think about. No, I just like the fact that feeling is still here. Like whenever I'm in Pacha, whenever I'm on the island, I get that specific feeling of togetherness somehow. It's weird. Like this, I think this island has its own timing. I don't know if you ever noticed. Like if you spend a little bit of time here, it's like the first time you get here is you have all the things planned out. It's like, oh, we gotta go there, and they have all the tickets online. I sorted it out, and we're going to space. And then I spent more time here, and I realized, well, there's a different way to do this, and that is just by going with the flow. And then suddenly the island will just reveal itself to you. You will meet people. For instance, I went to work out at the local fitness studio. Just so happens that this was many years ago, it was 15 years ago. Just so happened that the instructor was one of the doormen at Pacha. So every time I walked over, he'd just go, yeah, come on in. All good. And you just meet people and you're like, all right, this is what the island can also offer you. Like there's so much here that is much more about relations and people you meet and connect with on a different level. And I think as soon as you prove that you're dedicated to the spirit of this place, the island will reward you in many, many ways.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think if you haven't been to Ibiza, it's a really hard thing to understand. Yeah. And you probably, if you're listening to this, you'll be thinking like, what are they talking about? But it's true. Like it is definitely a place where you just have to be like, whatever, you know, there's so many things can happen in Ibiza, and you will, whatever you have planned will never go to plan. But that is the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it. I can compare it, like, I'm kind of comparing it to your local neighborhood. You get to know the guy in the cafe around the corner.
Yeah.
And if you forgot your wallet, he'll let you have the coffee anyway, or whatever. There's like there's this unity around it, which is very, very beautiful and very precious.
Totally. I started working here when I was young. I was 19, 20. And I remember at the time, like I was still at uni, and my mum and dad were obviously like, okay, she's moving to Ibiza. And they would worry about me. Yeah. But especially as you were saying before about security, like bouncers and people that are working at different clubs, when they get to know you and you become friends with these kind of people, you do have that feeling of just feeling safe, and I have people around me. And like sometimes, as you'll know, like we all finish really very early hours in the morning. So as a 20-year-old and then leaving Amnesia at like 6:30 in the morning and going home, of course they would worry about that stuff. But I would always have people that would like, you know, I know the guy that's at the taxi rank. I know that I'm gonna have somebody that's gonna get me into a club, and it's a community.
Well, obviously, I've not had that particular experience from a gender point of view, but I see exactly what you mean, and that's brushing on that's one of the things that I really think a lot about, keeping women safe in the industry, especially all the places I play. But that's a different story.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. There's a very particular sense of security here. As soon as you know the people, and as soon as you become a familiar face, people will take care of you.
Yeah, totally. What was it like working with Camelphat?
Best. Liverpool guys, they're hilarious.
They are so funny.
I love them. No, it was really good, actually. So what had happened lately is that I've always been a bit annoyed by the fact that, and this may come out a bit wrong, but I think a lot of techno and house music, the lyrics are just terrible. I'm not sure whether it's on purpose or it's just the fact that nobody wants to deal with anything serious in the club, and it should be like a hands up in the air. That's all we can deal with in that moment. But I always felt, well, why can't we take, let's say, some of the meaning from folk music, for instance? There's some beautiful songs out there. Why shouldn't they be within techno or house music? Well, there's obviously a couple that are amazing, like KOT Finally springs to mind immediately, and there are some that are really, really special. And they also have their place in history, I think. So last year I decided I was going to try and do more songwriting. Not that I've been in any way or shape any good at it, but inspired by my dad who wrote a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I started getting into songwriting a lot and started to use AI to help me out with creating the structure of the songs. I found this wonderful software where you can sort of play the MIDI notes of the song,
Nice.
and you can write in the words, and it will sing rudimentary what you kind of it took
Nice.
a million years to make, but it's fun. You know, it's a new challenge. So I'd done a demo, like a softer demo of the track, and I'd been testing it out last year a bit at different sets, and I remember playing it at Pacha early. I think it might have been September last year, one of the dates we did together. I think when we did the All Night Long together, and I played it there, and they were, oh, well, what's this one? And we're like, all right, that's interesting. It could be something, because it's a very sort of catchy lyric, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think sometime after that, I just sent it over and said, well, should we do this? Because we're talking collabs all the time. We did one for their album that came out last year. Was it? No, it was the year before.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to do something with them because I think they're. First of all, I just really like them.
I like them.
My
Dave and Mike.
my first, like, that's the first thing that I need to have cleared up before I make music with anybody, is that I like them as people.
Very interesting point.
You know, if there's not that connection that you can actually enjoy their company, well, what's the point, you know? I sent them the demo, and they it had this rudimentary vocal version on there. And I got back what they'd done. A couple of times forth and back, not much, like 2-3 times it was done.
Wow.
Yeah, super easy. And weirdly enough, I had done the original vocal. It's funny because I got a lot of comments. Why aren't you crediting the singer? The singer also deserves attention. I'm like, wait a minute, it's AI.
You were like, okay, here's the credit.
Yeah, here's the
AI.
credit.
Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. No, but so what had happened is I'd done it, and I had it re-sung a couple of times just to test out if it could work, because I prefer using a real singer, obviously, and it was just shit every time.
But this perfected it.
Yeah, so I went back to the original idea, and then that was it.
Interesting.
And maybe also it makes it even more interesting because the song is somewhat about a dysfunctional relationship. And I just like the idea that it's somehow a robot singing about a dysfunctional relationship. That's pretty funny.
I like that. So, okay, that takes me to an interesting point, because obviously you're an amazing storyteller. How, if you create a track with another artist, which in this case, there's two of them, and you obviously have your story to tell and they'll have a story as well. How do you all align so that it tells one story?
That's the whole thing. That's why I've got maybe 50, 60 tracks out that are never going to be released because they're not good enough, and the story gets convoluted and it's not precise enough. For me, the most important thing about all kinds of music that I want to be involved is that there's a precise direction emotionally. Obviously, it needs a certain impact, obviously production-wise, but emotionally I want it to have a very, very rounded feel to it. And it's not even necessarily about the vocals, it's more a sensation, like an emotional content somehow that I really need there to be in the record, otherwise I don't want to release it.
Yeah.
And it has something to do with how it makes me feel. And a lot of times it will come very, very quickly when I produce a record. It will happen within 30 minutes.
You will have that feeling.
Yeah. And if it's not there, I'll just stop.
And you'll just forget about it?
Yeah.
Wow. 30 minutes, is that all you give yourself?
Pretty much. If you don't feel anything within that time, it's never going to happen, is it?
Yeah.
And that's sort of a definition I've worked with for a long time. And then afterwards, you can perfect everything. You can work on the details. But as long as you have the emotional content within the 30 minutes, then you can work from there.
What about if you you didn't have that feeling in the first, say, 30 minutes now, but you left that track and in the next couple of years, you went and checked it out again. Would you do that, or would you be like, you need to create something fresh from the beginning? Do you ever go back to old music that you've made?
Yeah, loads of times. I'll go back and I'll rediscover, and sometimes also, weird enough, the original idea will just need one little addition, and then it will have that emotional contact that I couldn't vision at the time.
I interviewed Adam Beyer the other day for the podcast as well, and we were talking about this for his upcoming album.
Yeah.
A lot of the tracks on there had been created throughout COVID.
Oh.
and he just kind of had left it there and didn't really feel like it was finished at the time, but now has gone back to it and has like perfected them and feels like they're ready. So I was like, it's interesting how maybe it just could depend on your moment, like that time and how you're feeling and what's going on in your life.
Sometimes things just need to mature, you know. It's weird. It's like I always believe that it's kind of an idea that's stolen from Robert Hood, who's one of my biggest idols ever. He had this label called Implant, which is still running, I think. And his idea was that you could transmit emotions through technology, and he would regard the emotion as an implant in somebody else. You know, you play a piece of music, you get that feeling, and you would be able to transmit that feeling. And I'm a strong believer of that. Because if it wasn't for that, well, no DJs would be popular. There would be, if there wasn't that particular element to performing, nobody would care.
So do you feel like if you're playing a track that's your own story, does that story then become the crowd's story?
As soon as it's released, it's not my story anymore. I think that's the main takeaway from making music. As soon as you release a record, it's not really your record anymore, because people have memories to those records, they have experiences, and it becomes their story. So whatever I intended for it, it's not necessarily what it ends up being, which is what makes it even more beautiful.
Yeah. That must be like, it's a really nice feeling thinking that one thing that you've created is then attached to so many people's different stories and memories, right?
I have one record, it's called All That Matters, which is one of my biggest records, and that the amount of people that have come to me and how much that means to people, they've walked down the aisle to that, you know, they've played it for their kids. It's become a whole thing, and it's so beautiful to be part of that. I'm not going to say in any way or form influence it, but you're kind of in the background somehow, being part of something that's not your story, and that makes it even better.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I can't even imagine what it must feel like being behind the decks and then that whole show just like happening in front of you and just like confetti or like everywhere all over your decks.
Funny thing is, they have a leaf blower because they have to clean all the decks. So the stage manager came out with this humongous leaf blower on the decks to get rid of all the confetti. What's going on? It's very, very, very cute. No, it was great. It was a great experience, and I used to play a lot more for Alra. I used to play at Amnesia all the time. I used to do all these all-night longs in the main room. And what I really enjoyed is the whole communal spirit behind also all the actors that are a part of the... Obviously, the Ono family are incredible. They're such sweet people. The gang is really cool. But like some of the actors used to come over, like between their shows, come on, let's have a little Sierras in the booth. Yeah. Come out and we'd have a little chat and fun. And I really enjoyed that.
Have they never tried to get you like in disguise to go out into the show? Because I used to work at Amnesia, and I remember once us being in disguise and going out and like going out into the crowd.
They've not asked me. No, they've not asked me. Your funny story. I just realised I spoke to Victor about it when I was there. First time I played El Ro was 10 years ago at Space.
Yeah.
And it's on YouTube, and the whole set is on there. And I remember it was funny because at the time, El Ro was very much known for that kind of Spanish matcha kind of music. You know, it was like a tech house / techno, but very loopy, nothing much going on. And I was like coming in with all my melodies. And you'd have these old El Ro guys, like, you know, have all these buff El Ro guys, you know, bare up there, like, yeah, fuck you and your shitty melodic music. We don't want any of that. At the time, I was like, yeah, come on, let's go, get involved, my friends. And the funny thing is on YouTube, and this was the show was called Bronx Tales or something.
Yes, I remember.
And there's one scene in the stream where this guy comes up to me with a long trench coat, opens up, and he's got bags of fake drugs. And they'd given me fake El Ro money, so I pay him some El Ro money, and he hands me a bag of fake weed, which is curled up brown paper, and I put it in my pocket. But obviously you can't see that on the stream, so all the comments are like, "Oh, Kölsch is buying drugs."
Oh my god, that is so funny.
And then actually later on, the road police came and arrested me on stage. It was hilarious.
This is like the full story.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so much fun.
I think the first time I ever interviewed you was at an El Ro at Space.
Really?
Yeah.
It's quite a while ago.
A very long time ago.
That's so funny.
Yeah. because I was working for a company at the time called Groovity, and we did like a 360 stream of it.
Ah, yes.
Do you remember? That's on YouTube still.
Wow. I have to go and look for that.
Yeah.
That is funny.
That was a while ago.
That's a million years ago. Wow.
I know. What do you see like as the future of club culture? Obviously, especially here in Ibiza, I think that this year it feels a little bit like a new era.
Yeah.
Obviously, things have to evolve and things have to change, and it's an exciting time. But how do you kind of envision like the next few years of club culture?
Do you mean club culture in general or club culture Ibiza?
I know it's two different things.
Yeah.
Let's start with Ibiza.
I think, yeah, I do love the fact that it's become so professional. I love the fact that there's a clear path, and I mean, this island used to be really messy. You'd have to really fight for your place on the decks. Not as in just the actual space.
Yeah.
Because people would just randomly fall into you, and it'd be very messy. And I need my space when I perform. So I'm very happy that part of it is better. I'm a bit conflicted with the whole business side of things. I'm a bit conflicted with the monoculture of it all, which bothers me a little bit. And it's a thing that's it's arisen more and more, not even in Ibiza, but everywhere. We have these extreme superstar DJs, and by all means, there's no criticism of that, well deserved.
Yeah.
That's not the point. The point is because of social media, the public has become so focused on that particular superstar that they'll go to a night and just wait around for that to happen, which saddens me a little bit, because club culture was always about the whole experience and not the one person. I've been to shows here where you'd have an amazing warm-up DJ, I know, DJ's wrong, co-headliner, doing their absolute best, playing a killer, stellar set, and people just stand around like this waiting for the headlines to go.
When you're, say, we're covering a festival and you're talking on the radio to the listeners and trying to explain what is happening in that moment, I obviously can see what's happening, but everyone else that's listening, they're going to have a totally different image, and I just think there's something so amazing about that.
There was this Family Guy sketch about a blind man watching the Titanic film and him imagining what it was. And there was a scene where he goes, "I'm the king of the world." It was so funny. Anyway, not similar to that.
That is basically that. I love that. It is insane though, like how everyone would just have like different thoughts, you know?
I love live radio. It's like the energy is just off the charts, and it just changes when it's live.
And it's just that adrenaline.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love it too.
It's great,
it's
isn't it? I love it.
And I think the best part about it, I always surprise myself with the genius things I come up with just kind of happens, and my mouth just goes off and like, what? Where did this come from?
Well, exactly, because sometimes if you're doing stuff that, you know, is pre-recorded, you overthink it, then you're like, I think I said. Do you get like still quite nervous when you have like a big release like this?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think everybody does. Like, you're pouring your heart out, and the reception is always a big issue. Thankfully, these days we're not dependent on music reviews anymore, which used to be such a heartbreak every time, because people would never really understood the vision. Now it's more up to the public, which is beautiful. I prefer that any day.
Do you still get nervous before playing?
Not really, no. Not really. I get excited.
Yeah.
Like, not nervous, but I'm kind of, how do I put that? It's more like I'm looking forward to it. It's like I'm really excited to get up there and get involved and get. Maybe it's just loud music, really. When I love the fact going on stage and just feeling the music, being part of something, that unity with people and connecting, and you know, and engaging with people. I love that.
What was the engagement like at Universe? You played the opening party for Elro, and obviously everyone's super excited to see what it's like. So what was your experience playing like one of the first nights there?
I really enjoyed it. The challenge with playing such big rooms is that I think my predominant mission as a DJ is always to try and engage with everybody on the floor. I try and reach as many people as possible. Kind of reach back to what I said with the emotional implanting and such.
Yeah.
I always try and reach and involve people in what I'm doing.
It's very weird, like taking into account the amount of DJs there are. And
As we just mentioned.
Yeah.
There was like I think there's 192,000 registered DJs in the world or something like that, which is quite crazy.
yeah, that's crazy.
But that being said, I see it with a lot of positivity. I love
Yeah.
change. And even at the time, I remember when space closed, which is a very sad moment, and High came, I always saw it with a positive attitude. The island has to evolve. It's got to move on. We also have to remember a lot of these clubs are the livelihood of the people that live here. And I think that's fair. I mean, it's fair that things become more professional and become well-functioning, and that part of it I thoroughly enjoy.
Totally.
For sure.
And you know what? We've always got AI to do videos of what it used to look like.
So it's true.
I love that. Right, to wrap things up, because I know it's Sunday and you've played and you probably just want to relax, and I'm sat here like blah blah blah.
That's all good.
So just to end, I have two. Well, one's a game, kind of a game. It's called Pass the Question.
Mm-hmm.
So each guest pass on a question to the next guest. You have a very random question. It's from Fleur Shaw.
Oh, cool.
Okay, but you don't know what the question
No,
is.
is it weird?
Yeah, very. Would you prefer to have hands as your feet or feet as your hands?
That's a really good question. I like it. Let me think about that for a little bit. Feet as your hand. Well, isn't it? It's the same thing, isn't it?
Well, I said this to her, but no, I think what she means is like, imagine that you have your hands now turn into feet.
So you would then have
So you'd have 4 feet.
4 feet.
Or would you have 4 hands? I think that's a better way to put it.
4 hands for sure. Come on. People wear knitsy gloves all day long. Go driving gloves here, like sleek, great. But we're kind of there already with the tabi shoes, aren't we? They're halfway gloves.
To be fair, we're not too far
No,
off.
are they?
Okay, what is your question for the next guest?
Give me a sec.
It doesn't have to be music related.
No, obviously, it
Just
doesn't have to be. Yes, my question for the next guest is, do you consider pizza fast food?
That is so weird that you've asked me that. Right, last night I came back from Sonar and I was so tired, and I got back to my friend's apartment and I was by myself, and I was like, I am gonna sit on the sofa and I'm gonna order myself a pizza.
Yes.
And I was like, I had in mind like a kind of thin crust pizza, but then when it arrived, I'd never ordered from it before. It was like a thick kind of like Domino style pizza.
Yeah.
And I literally thought to myself, would I consider this as like a nice like pizza, or is it fast food?
There you go.
What would you say?
Both,
Yeah.
because it can be both, depending on your choice of pizzeria.
Yeah.
Probably the best pizza I've ever had was in Napoli in an Irish bar.
No way.
In the back room there was a pizzeria and it was incredible.
Oh, I love that.
And the worst pizzas you get, probably hotels are the worst pizzas, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're always terrible.
Like frozen pizzas that have just been
Oh,
roasted.
jeebus.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Are you a good cook?
Yes, I love cooking. Yeah, I did MasterChef in Denmark 2 times. I did the show, became second 2 times.
Are you joking?
No, seriously.
I never knew that. That is so cool.
It was fun. Like, it was really fun.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good time.
You can't believe you've been on MasterChef twice.
Well, it's an amateur cooking show, but it was still fun.
But it's just really cool. I interviewed DJ Tennis yesterday, and the whole thing just ended up being about food.
Yeah, we get to that as well. It's like ridiculous.
Who's like the best DJ chef you know?
Probably Seth.
He said that as well.
Yeah, probably Seth. Yeah, I'd stick with Seth. He's probably the best one. Depending on, because there are chefs that are also DJs, but that doesn't count, does it?
Nah.
Nah.
What's your star dish?
Oh, I don't have any star dishes. It's like I'm very much a time of day kind of thing, or maybe time of year. What's in season. It's become weirdly basic. It's like gone from being very elaborate and molecular cooking and all kinds of stuff into like barbecuing and holding back on ingredients, just finding the right ingredients. I think right now I'm obsessed with tagines and couscous, like Moroccan style food. The meze also from that region. I can't have it. I can't get enough of it.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite Ibiza restaurant?
It used to be Amalur,
Mm.
but that's now changed into an Italian place. My favorite Ibiza restaurant would probably be Port Balançat, which is incredible. It's the best seafood. on the
So
island.
good.
But it's also like a kind of a hidden gem. It's a drive away, and it's a weird area of the island, but it's an amazing restaurant.
Maybe we should cut it out so nobody knows where
Yeah.
to go. And finally, because the podcast is called Can You Put Me on Guest
Yeah.
List, I ask everyone this question. Do you have a guest list rule?
I do.
Ooh.
I have several guest list rules. First of all, if you're in a guest list, you better dance. No phones behind the booth. I think it's disrespectful for the people that bought tickets and you're standing in the booth looking at your phone. It's not acceptable. And smile.
I love that. That's great. I love the one about no phones in the booth.
No, come on.
Yeah, what you doing?
People pay ludicrous amounts of money. They wish they were there in the booth and you're standing around chatting with their mates.
Nah.
I mean, at least like, sit down and text or go to the back or whatever, or turn around or something so it's not so obvious.
Totally agree with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been lovely. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
I think I'm gonna eat with some friends and just chill.
Nice.
That's the move.
Well, thank you so much. Enjoy.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye.